Am I the asshole for signing my kids up for public school behind my wife's back? So, I, 36M, am a dad to 6-year-old twins, and my wife, 28F, is a stay-at-home mom who has recently gone full crunchy mom mode. She's all about essential oils, no processed foods, cloth diapers when they were babies, and she's absolutely against anything mainstream. For the longest time I didn't mind because a lot of it is about healthy living and I want the best for our kids. But things are starting to get way out of control. The latest issue is that my wife is dead set on homeschooling the twins. She's convinced that public school is toxic, and that our kids won't thrive in a system that's designed to make them little robots. She even has a few friends in her crunchy mom group who homeschool their kids, and she's been talking non-stop about joining their co-op. I've expressed my concerns about this from the beginning. I work full-time and I don't think she realizes how hard it's going to be to manage homeschooling 2 kids at the same time while giving them a proper education. But she won't hear it. Anytime I bring up public school she shuts it down immediately, saying she doesn't want the twins to get bullied or that we'll lose control of what they're learning. I just don't think homeschooling is realistic and I can't see how she'll keep them on any sort of consistent schedule. I gave her time to prove me wrong over the summer, thinking maybe she'd ease into it and have a plan. Instead, she spent most of the time bouncing between different unschooling philosophies and signing them up for random activities with her crunchy mom friends. The kids are constantly bored, and I've seen them starting to fall behind. I'm not proud to admit it, but I went behind her back and enrolled the twins in public school for the fall. I told her a few weeks before school started and she absolutely lost it. She accused me of betraying her and said I was undermining her role as a mother. She keeps saying I don't trust her to raise our kids, which isn't true. I just don't think she's prepared to handle homeschooling and I don't want the twins to suffer because of it. She spent the whole first week of school trying to make me feel guilty by saying the twins are miserable and that I've ruined their childhoods by forcing them into the system. The thing is, as far as I can tell, the twins actually loved their first week school. They've made friends and like their teacher. But my wife keeps insisting they're just pretending to like it to make me happy. Now, she's talking about pulling them out mid-year and starting over with her homeschooling plan, but I'm putting my foot down. I want the best for my kids, and I honestly think public school is the right choice for them right now. My wife is making me feel like I'm the bad guy for going behind her back and forcing them into something she was so against. Am I the asshole for enrolling the twins in public school without her consent? Should I have handled it differently? I'm starting to feel really guilty about what this is doing to my wife. Not the asshole, but you're heading towards a divorce. She's in a very toxic friend group and you won't break through. For all of its faults, being an active and engaged parent with the options of a public school system will be better for them. Parental involvement, not helicopter parenting, determines success. Give your wife the option of formulating a plan for their education with specifics. Homeschooling isn't done willy-nilly. Ask her what activities she has for them to combat the boredom. How is she going to ensure they are learning all they need to learn and more? For now, she should be very engaging with them outside of school hours. I doubt the twins are acting happy to make you happy, especially given this is a brand new experience to them. Not the asshole. Not the asshole. Many people who homeschool have absolutely no idea how much work it is. Kids grow up with gaps in their education and also aren't socialized. You're doing the right thing for your kids. Info. Does your wife have a background in elementary education? A curriculum in place for homeschooling, lessons planned, etc.? It reads like she unilaterally decided this without having any idea what's actually involved in homeschooling, so I think you just sort of did what you had to do to ensure the best outcome for your children. It's really hard to call you an asshole for that. Not the asshole. Anyone who gets into essential oils is not capable of properly educating children, let alone the teens they'll become. Why do so many people who aren't competent insist on this crap? It's not like public school is perfect, but at least the teachers tend to be, educated. Not the asshole even a little. Not the asshole. Your wife sounds like she could use some more schooling herself. I'd be worried more about what she would teach them when you aren't around. Kinda sounds like she's getting all her info off the internet or other echo chambers. Every person I've ever met who is homeschooled has been light years behind. Not just in education but in social skills as well. Going to public school isn't just about an education. It's a safe space to learn critical thinking, conflict resolution, and to see viewpoints other than your own. It sounds like homeschooling is more important to her than what the kids would get out of it. Am I the asshole for refusing to babysit my dad's fiance's kids during their wedding? My dad and his fiancée Kirsten, both late 30s, are getting married in January. Kirsten has 3 kids under 8. Dad has me, 17 male. My mom died 11 years ago. Kirsten's ex-husband is alive but doesn't play a role in the lives of their kids, except child support, which is apparently taken from his income because he wasn't paying. Her kids don't remember their dad, and so Dad and Kirsten are hoping Dad will become their new dad. I met Kirsten 4 or 5 months ago and her kids around the same time, and given my age and the fact I did fine with just me and Dad, I'm not looking for Kirsten to fill any sort of maternal or motherly role. I also don't think I'll be engaging with Kirsten's kids as a sibling. This upsets her because she wanted me to be the cool older sibling for them, and someone who might babysit on occasion. But mostly someone who'd make a point to spend time with them. But I'm not planning on spending too much time with them. I have plans for once I turn 18. My dad always knew this. So this has fed into the whole babysitting the kids during the wedding stuff. Kirsten says since I won't be 18 when they get married and I'll still be living with my dad, I should be willing to monitor her kids throughout the wedding. My dad admitted she's hoping it makes me a little more willing to be someone to her kids. I said no when I was initially asked, and I was clear with my no. Kirsten told me it wasn't like I was looking forward to the wedding anyway, so why not agree to babysit? She told me it would give me the chance to bond with her kids. I said no. Dad said he'd pay me to do it if I was agreeable to money for it. But then Kirsten was saying it would be hurtful if I wouldn't do it as a favor to my growing family. Dad told her it was expecting a little too much. She argued that if I'm there, and still living with him, I should be willing, and that I seem so resistant to acting like a sibling that it's incredibly childish. There was some more back and forth about it. Kirsten got really pissed when I said it again, as clearly as I could, that I won't babysit during the wedding. Dad said he'd pay for a sitter, but Kirsten said I should really be more willing here. That Dad and I don't have an awful relationship, so why won't I give all this a chance and make the day less expensive and more of a happy memory for everyone? Am I the asshole? Not the asshole. 1. Why you are not invited to the wedding if she wants to be part your family? 2. If your dad is willing to pay for it, why he don't pay someone who wants the job? I would tell Kirsten point blank, right in front of your dad, you're marrying my dad. I do not come with the marriage as a free babysitter for your kids. I'm 17 years old. I don't need a mother or siblings. It is my choice what kind of relationship I have with you or your kids. Then look at your dad and say, keep in mind I will be 18 soon. If you want to remain in contact with me and not have me resent you, I suggest you talk to your future wife and further drive the point home that I will not be your free babysitter. If that was a perk she wanted in marrying you, she has misjudged the situation. Not the asshole. Your dad seems to be on your side, so that's a big plus on his part. The new wife seems to want a built-in family and does not understand that not everyone will warm up to 3 kids under 8 right away. P.S. I'm just judging her for having 3 kids under 8 and then having a not-so-great relationship with the ex, and expecting you to welcome her with open arms, when it's been very obvious that you and Dad have been doing well for the last 11 years on your own without your mom. I don't begrudge your dad for wanting companionship, but someone with 3 kids under 8 is a handful. Not the asshole. Kirsten is entitled, but your dad is delusional. My dad admitted she's hoping it makes me a little more willing to be someone to her kids. Lol, really? I'm quite sure that babysitting of 3 children under 8 during a stressful, long and exhausting formal event would make you even less willing to be someone to her kids. Not the asshole. Just continue to tell her that it is not happening. And on the day of the wedding, do not let her abandon the kids with you. She can find a friend to babysit her kids at the wedding if that is necessary. Not the asshole. You said no multiple times. Point out to your dad that Kirsten's actions are already causing tension in your relationship. Let him know he needs to shut it down if he doesn't want things to turn hostile between you, him, and her. Am I the asshole for standing my ground on taking a car back that I gifted to a 19-year-old? This is not my child, but the child of my first said child said that he couldn't get a job because he didn't have a car. Well, I was planning on getting a new car, so I said he could have the car for free. A 2009 GMC Yukon Denali XL with about 150,000 on it, as long as he obtained a full-time job within 2 months. The registration was paid for as well as 6 months of insurance. So I took the job excuse off the table. I stated title wouldn't be signed over until the stipulations had been met. This was back in May. He has had multiple job opportunities, but they haven't been what he wanted. Now he says he just doesn't want a full-time job right now, unless it was working with animals, which he has no experience, and therefore nobody will hire him. I even told him that the local pet store was hiring almost 3 weeks ago, yet no job. My friends are telling me I am an asshole for taking the car back, but it is still in my name, and it is just rotting in his driveway, and he is now just outright refusing to work. Not the asshole. The car was a reward for something he hasn't done yet. Maybe taking the car will give him the motivation to actually do the task. Normally taking back a gift would be finger right on the why, but not the asshole one bit. Quote. Child said that he couldn't get a job because he didn't have a car. Well, I was planning on getting a new car, so I said he could have the car for free, as long as he obtained a full-time job within 2 months. The registration was paid for as well as 6 months of insurance. As you say, he turned down numerous job opportunities. They may not have been what he wanted, but he'd be earning and other opportunities could open up. You've been totally fair, emo. The pet store thing totally shows he doesn't want to work on top of the incentive of the car. Not the asshole. You have been more than generous. My friends are telling me I am an asshole for taking the car back. Your friends must have loved getting participation trophies. Not the asshole. You made stipulations in exchange for a vehicle. You aren't giving him a car. You're making him earn it. Not the asshole, but you could hilariously become the asshole by giving it to whoever took the job at the pet store. Not the asshole. There were clear conditions to your gift. He hasn't satisfied them. He doesn't get the car. You can make the same offer once again with the same conditions, but I wouldn't do it a third time. And you have been generous and gone out of your way to find him opportunities and employment. Now, he should discover what it means to work at a job to pay for, at least some, his living expenses, and not turn his nose up at any honest work. Shame on him for being so picky. Is this guy even in college classes or something promising in the meantime? Am I the asshole for telling my stepmom she's right when she accused me of not respecting her grief? My dad got remarried after my mom died. I, 15 female, was 8. She was very excited to meet me. I was way less excited. Like not excited at all. My mom was dead less than 2 years and I knew she and my dad were talking about getting married. I hated it. I didn't get why dad was doing all that so quickly and why they had to get married at all. I said it in front of her when dad told me I shouldn't look so down, and she told me I should wipe all that sadness from my memory because she was here now and she'd bring the happiness back and make me forget all about what made me sad. Dad was like OMG and he told her how bad that sounded. I refused to let her touch me when she tried to apologize and I told her to leave me alone. She talked to me alone a few days after that and told me I could at least try. That dad wasn't sad anymore because of her so I could be too. I told her she couldn't make me forget my mom died. She told me I never gave her the chance to. I told her I didn't like her and I thought she was a bad person. She was horrified by an 8-year-old saying that to her face like I did. But I meant it. I still mean it. She tried so hard to get close to me but I didn't want to get close to her. I was quiet around her. I didn't open up to her or share anything with her. My dad sent us on this pre-wedding girls' day because he wanted me to be closer to her during the wedding, which only happened a few months after I met her. I ignored her the whole day. She got pregnant right after the wedding and she told me I should be celebrating all this happy news and this new life, and instead I looked like I wanted to cry. I told her she'd never get what it's like. We had a really rough time during her first pregnancy. She wanted to include me. I wanted nothing to do with her pregnancy. I wanted nothing to do with her. It frustrated us both for different reasons. She told me to leave the past behind and look forward to being someone's sister. Then she told me most kids would be happy to have a mom again. I brought up the bad person thing again. She didn't try this stuff with her other 2 pregnancies. But she did always try to make me like her and she tried to make me forget. I don't think kindly of her for that. I have no respect for her. I don't even call her my stepmom. That's respectful and I don't want to be respectful to her. Her mom died not too long ago. She had a really hard time. I didn't care and I didn't try to comfort her or offer any sympathy or kind words. I have none for her. She confronted me on it and I told her she'd forget about it eventually. She accused me of disrespect and then said I'm not being respectful of her grief. I told her she's right. She was never respectful of my grief so I won't be respectful of her grief either. I told her she can wait for her dad to find the woman who'll make her forget. She called me heartless. She said I should care enough about her to not say that. I told her I never cared about her. Am I the asshole? OMG, if stepgrabs does move on, bond with that woman heavily lol. You, a teenager, are nearly enacting the behavior she showed you when you were 8. And if she's like, I knew my mom for my whole life, just say to her, and I had known my mom for all of mine when we had met, and you told me to forget her to make yourself more comfortable, never acknowledging my grief. Now, I've simply learned, from you, that I never need to acknowledge yours. Your dad also kind of sucks for not reining her in all these years, or doing some form of family or individual counseling. Overall, you are not the asshole, op. Not the asshole, you nailed it. There is nothing more to be said than what you have already said. I applaud you for your maturity and wisdom. You are a much better person than these 2. Please don't ever change. Not the asshole, she never really tried understanding your feelings and your emotions during that time. Bonding is something where you share the happy parts as well as the sad ones. If she really wanted to bond with you, she should have tried making you go through that phase rather than trying to make you forget about it. Not the asshole. I truly don't understand people going into a situation thinking they will be an instant parent. Dead parent or not, it's deeply disrespectful. You build that bond with your children the moment they're born and a stranger waltzes in without putting in the hard work and expect the same results. If you did that at a job, you would be laughed out. Why is it so different with children? Oh shit. I can't judge this because it's fucking hilarious. I'm no longer unbiased lol.